Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit, because he was fucking useless.
Right, this week will be nothing short of an extravaganza, a veritable cornucopia of Milton Keynes Dons related content. And to lead us off with that content is none other than Tony Hawkins. Go on, Tony, lead us off with some MK Dons related thrillingness. There's a new word there, thrillingness.
We're 4 games unbeaten.
We are 4 games unbeaten. Scored what, 5 goals and only let 2 in.
Yeah. Well, that's it, really.
That's it. Yeah. Well, that was a good one, Tony. I said it was going to be exciting and full of Milton Keynes Dons contact. We will see you next week.
No clean sheet, but
no.
Can't have everything.
It's quite funny because we went to Bicester Village because it was my anniversary, and as we were coming out, the game was on the radio, and by the time we'd got home, looked at our purchases, gone up to feed the horses, come back after feeding them and driving back when old matey scored that equaliser. So you think, well, that's the best part of 2 hours, and I suppose it is. It's about an hour and a half in it, kind of thing. We think about it, 2 hours. So it's quite you can get a lot done if you don't watch football, Tony. To be quite honest, you can. Well,
it's a funny old game, as someone never said.
Yeah. And you can spend a lot of money when you're not going to football, to be quite honest. So, there you go. Don't do it.
Yeah, I tend to avoid that.
Don't go to Bicester Village. God almighty.
Spending. Yeah. Very kid in a sweet shop time, isn't it, really?
Well, as for me, I bought another pair of shoes. I'll show you. I'll wear them on Friday, Tony. Wait to see them. God almighty, they're so
I literally cannot wait.
Well, they're spectacular, I'll be honest. So anyway, the game, we started off. Did we not take the lead, the Milton Keynes Dons FC, from a very unlikely source, I'm led to believe?
Yeah, and nicely taken, nicely set up. Like a instant reaction to tap it to young Daniel there, and for him to put it in the back of the net. Just watched it back there again. Quick reactions, and yeah, can't say I wasn't a little bit surprised when I was checking my phone while I was sat in the pub looking at the scores. So that was a nice surprise. And then obviously it went 1-1, 2-1, and I thought, oh, here we go.
And there we go. I thought to myself,
only real complaint, what I've seen from the highlights, and I can't speak for the rest of the match, obviously, but was that David Wheeler was the only unmarked Wycombe player for his first goal, and he scored.
I've only got one,
which often happens when players aren't marked.
Well, it doesn't when they're unmarked on the box, Tony. There's a good chance that if the ball comes to them, they might just score one of those goals. It's prevalent in football.
I mean, he scored from about 3 yards from the touchline and managed to run unimpeded 15 yards of the 18-yard line to head it in.
If I've got one complaint,
unmarked, no one following him, nothing at all.
I've got one complaint. Well, obviously my main complaint is he scored the goal, but my secondary complaint is he's fucking absolutely ludicrous celebration that guy done. That is just... I was thinking to myself, my second name's Taylor, so I thought, well, if I was to do a celebration, would I like mime, like sewing some clothes or something? Or
that would be a bit shit, if I'm honest.
Then I was thinking, well, your second name, like, Tony Hawkins, what are you going to, like, pretend you've got like a bird of prey on your arm or something? You just think, your guy's name's Wheeler.
No, so I could be selling door to door as well. I could be Hawkins.
You could do your Hawkins Bazaar, eh? Didn't think of that. See, I've not thought it out, Tony.
Go knock on an imaginary door and sell them Lucky Heather or something.
I have not thought it out. I mean, that's the shittest, and I've seen some shit celebrations. I mean, Robbie Keane's was pretty bad, but pretending to drive a car, I mean, nah, I'm not having that, I'm sorry. God, I sounded a bit talk sport there, didn't I? I'm not having it, I said.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? He's scored a goal and he's happy, and
he's driven that.
He's been there. He's been there a lot longer than he was with us.
Yes, yeah, I've got no compulsion about the guy celebrating. I'm a great believer. I don't go for all that. The non-celebration shit. I think if he's especially being the kind of guy I am, Doubly, especially if you used to play for that team. Really, I'm the kind of guy that would like you to run right up to them and go, "Way, get it right, ring me," or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Right
up your street, obviously.
See, but I just think that
you love that sort of stuff. I haven't got a problem with it. I mean, he plays for Wycombe and he's been there for a while. So, what's the problem? I don't.
The problem is Tony.
See, but he wasn't provocative in any way. Anyway, so
he provoked me with that celebration. I'll be honest, Tony. He did.
Well, yeah. Aside from the celebration, but that, regardless of where he played for us tonight, it just annoyed you.
Yeah. So there you go. You got a match report by any chance, Tony, from anyone?
Yeah. So thanks very much to Jonathan Harris, who is also doing us a match report for Derby. By the way.
Oh, good for him. Maybe we could get him on.
Good lad. Yeah, I didn't think of that actually. Genuinely didn't think of that.
Easier,
so he says it's quite a long one, so I'll try and whip through it.
I've got a couple of bottles of speckled pen here, so I'm laughing.
He summarising here the first paragraph. Caught up with some friends, met Luke Ashmead, Paul Dixon as well, and Ollie Welch. Team news came in, and Stuart starting was a surprise. I think that's fair to say.
That's it.
So you never know what's going to happen in that situation, do you? Got in about 2:30, and you could feel that there was a confidence we might get something. The Akin Fenway chant started in earnest just before kick-off, which they got bored of very quickly, and no one reacted to ask them to stop. And then it carried on sporadically throughout the game. We kicked off, and the first 20 minutes were superb. On the front foot, getting to every second ball, utilising the space out wide with one-touch passing. Deserved to be in the lead when McEachran found Watson on the right, who found Letko, who had Jacobson on toast all game, who found Grant, who found Harvey unmarked in the box. Cue Limbs in the away end.
Limbs.
Then Wycombe found a 12th man with a dodgy hairline. He then goes on to moan about the ref a lot.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about the referee. Well, maybe have not.
Yeah. Wycombe equalised from a free kick. Stuart lost Wheeler. I don't think I'm absolutely sure. I haven't looked at it 3 times that Wheeler wasn't marked full stop. In fairness, it was a good header, but our immediate thoughts with the young gentleman and that tattoo. Yes, indeed. Wycombe then on top for the rest of the half, with every decision going their way. The ref didn't wave Watson back on for a cut on his face until we won a throw-in. Second half, they came out of blocks quickly, winning multiple fouls in inverted commas. From one resulting free kick, Wheeler buried his chance unmarked after we initially cleared the ball away. Whenever we got the ball on the ground, though, we looked dangerous. Mo should have done better in the 6-yard box. Magoma forced a save from the goalie, and there was a glimmer of hope we could get something. Step up Jonathan Lico. Moments before his goal, he forgot to take the ball with him, which angered the fan behind him. Take him off, he's useless. He's paraphrased that, he says. He then got into the box and lost it. Cue some more criticism, and then he won the ball back in the box outside the right back, who was the one that actually missed the ball. It spun
I've seen that,
over
yes.
his...
Yep, I did see
right,
that.
yeah.
Yep.
And then obviously he jigged about a bit and then curled it into the or smashed it into the bottom corner. I thought the goalie could have done better with it, but it looked like he put some power behind it, so it's probably travelling. We could and possibly should have won. Harvey with a chance at the back post that should have gone with, where it should have gone with his left foot, as he had more time than he thought, which is, considering he's left-footed, is a surprise. Tempers flared towards the end. Johnson had a wrestling match on the floor. It doesn't say who with. The ref again didn't play advantage, and we were then in a 3-on-1 situation, deciding we were actually due a free kick, leading to Robbie Stockdale getting booked. Then the fourth official's board stopped working, so no one knew what the added time was. Hugh Wycombe throwing the kitchen sink towards the away end, towards the end of the game, but we stood strong and made it 4 unbeaten. A month ago, it all looked doom and gloom. Now that's a fight. Now there's a fight, desire not to lose. Louis returning has helped Tucker and Harvey immensely. Grant is improving game on game, and the fitness levels have improved. Players like McEachran are tracking back, helping Louis when he's exposed. Even the front line are closing down at the right times. Have we got enough to stay up, he asks. I hope so, he answers. Only Ipswich are on better form in the league, but I still think it's 2 from 5. Ourselves, Oxford, Accrington, Cambridge and possibly Burton. Ooh. Obviously he's not including Forest Green in that. On to Portsmouth on Good Friday. a team we generally do well against, funnily enough. Then Derby on Easter Monday. Might be ambitious to think 4 points, but who knows?
Who knows?
Keep up the great work, guys, and come on, you Dons.
Come on, you Dons.
Thanks for that, Jonathan.
Thank you,
Absolutely
Jonathan.
fantastic stuff.
That was good.
I've actually got 2 messages from Albie.
A young Albie.
The first one was sent at 7:29 p.m. just as you were calling me.
All right.
So I haven't read these, so I'm going to read them.
This could be exciting.
Straight off. He says, very strange game at Wycombe, but an entertaining one nonetheless. We started superbly and a goal was coming. But once it did, we seemed to get sloppy and couldn't pass 2 yards without being overrun. Wycombe scoring, they seemed to spend the rest of the half on the front foot. Pretty much what Jonathan said there. Though couldn't do anything due to a proper shit ref trying to ruin the flow of the game. Only fair I say that, as he was definitely shit for both sides. Interesting how different fans see those aspects, isn't it, really? Second half, they started better without being too threatening. Scored a second, and yet, unlike most of this season, I didn't feel the game was up, and we improved slightly and about 5 minutes before we scored. We need to find consistency throughout the games, kill a game off early as possible, and try and run the game out comfortably. Mo seems unhappy recently. Confidence taking a knock, it appears, and he really doesn't like being subbed, which is normal. Of course it is. Fans were great on Saturday and really stuck with the side. And then he says, thanks for that, Albie. Very nice. Echoing quite a lot of what Jonathan said, except for the referee bit where he thought he was shit for both teams. He says, question for the panel. Father of Loud Day on Friday means we celebrate Jim Marshall's life 11 years after his passing. We donned the Marshall's AMP logo on our kits during the early part of the club's growth. So my question is, what is your favourite and least favourite Don's kit of all time? The worst can be this one, if you like.
My favourite,
which I'm presuming he means this season's.
Yeah, that is my least favourite. My favourite is the 05-06 Marshall one. I think it was it Line that did that?
A-line.
A-line kit. That's a classic
with the with the trim.
Yeah,
the gold trim, was it? Gold or black
I really
trim?
liked the red one. I loved the red one. I had a red hoodie that I used to wear when I used to wear like strips. I used to wear like a red hoodie under it, and at the top it looked smart as you like. That's a cracking. That's a great strip. It really is brilliant strip. Really like that one. So
we have had some. We've had some. I mean, I don't. If it's not plain, it has to be spectacularly good for me. Yeah. I did like, and I'm in the very much minority here, the one that was sort of stripy.
Oh no, I did that. The one, no.
Which no one seems to like that one, except
like
for
that
me.
One, no. What about the one?
But I've never really had an issue with any of the kits. I mean, I wasn't really a big fan of the DoubleTree years.
I didn't like the one that had the sort of St George's cross in it. I didn't like that one.
No, that at first that was like, oh, that's nice. But I remember I can't remember what season it was. It must have been around. It wasn't 8-9. Maybe it was 10-11 or 11-12. The Modfather one, the one that had the sort of the red and the white stripe down the middle. I thought that was quite nice, but there's just too many to choose from. Really,
I really don't like that.
I've always liked. I like all the black kits, except for this season's. I do like a black kit. I don't know why. It's just unusual, I suppose, isn't it? Really, having a black kit.
You don't see a lot of black kits. I'll give you that. You don't.
Yeah, but I think if you're talking about favourite kit and just everything that went with it, it would be the yellow kit from the promotion season. Which
that one. Good. That's a good choice.
Yeah,
actually.
it was just because there was an attachment to it from all the. We basically, when we put that on, we thought we were unbeatable.
Unbeatable, we were. No one could touch us.
And we pretty much were in that yellow kit. It was. Albie will probably tell me, and so someone will, but I think either we lost 2 games in that shirt or none. I can't actually remember, to be completely honest, but we would wear that every opportunity at an away game. If we could have worn it at home, Carl would have worn it at home as well, because as I've said before, superstition in football is rife, and any little thing that gives that player an extra little bit of confidence, or they think that they do perform better in certain kit and boots and various accessories, then it's all good, because a lot of it is in the head, as we know, as we've discussed before. So I don't know if I had to choose. I think you're right. I like the A-line with that trim. That was a very nice shirt. Yeah, and I do like a plain shirt. So the 7, 8 or 6, 7 was it? The promotion from the League Two and the Johnston.
That was a nice one as well.
Yeah, it is understated, but the red was a nice red. You know.
It's the one we wore at Wembley when we won the cup.
Mm.
I'm good at that, winning cups. I've got one tweet here from someone that's becoming a bloke that tweets in every week, to be quite honest. I'm not going to call him Danny the Angry Ape, I'm just going to call him Danny from now on. Big Dan, I might call him. Big Dan.
What about Date?
Date? That's good, isn't it?
Or Grapey. Sort of mixture of grape and angry and ape. And
I've not thought it out ever. Anyway,
Dan the Angry Grape.
He says it shows how far we've come, that going into the ground we'd have taken a draw, but leaving the ground we were disappointed with a draw, he says. He's right there. He then further goes on to say the spicy sausage outside the ground were good. And he says he fitted in with the fans in the ground with a runny nose. So I'm assuming he's got some kind of a virus infection at the minute, old Danny. But he likes his sausages.
Oh, nice.
He loves a sausage,
does Danny?
Man, he loves a bit of sausage.
He's well known for his sausage.
He says he sees a sausage, Tony, he's all over it.
He loves it. He loves a bit of sausage, does Dan?
A sausage, that bloke.
Yeah, so I mean, we did say it last week, but what a difference a few games can make, eh?
Say that again, sorry.
Stop giggling at the back.
Anyway, what did you say? Sorry, I'm watching Newcastle warming up here.
Yeah, what a difference a few games can make, as we know.
It's unbelievable, really. It was.
I mean, that's 10 points from 12, the last 12. So, under any circumstances, in the position that we're in, 10 points out of 12 is going to move you. And we're actually now above Oxford, are we not?
It's a good result on Saturday, because I mean they're on the verge of playoffs, and we're on the verge of getting relegated. So to take some points from them, a point from them, it's a good result that on Saturday. All Mickey taken aside, and the fact that it's Wycombe, I don't dislike them as much as I used to, because he's not there any longer. But it's still a bit of a good. I'm glad we took points off you bastards. But there you go. That's what it is. Good result.
Yeah, I mean the table's looking a lot healthier, but there's a lot of green on our form and a lot of red beneath us, so that can only be good. Oxford do have a game in hand, 2 points behind us, so it would be nice, if they could at most get a draw with that game in hand if it was to be played now. Accrington have got a game in hand as well, but they're 5 points behind. Morecambe have played a game more than us. They're 6 points behind.
And then we're down to Cambridge on
33.
But we need to get these games played. There's not actually very long to go, is there? When you think about it, it must only be about a month left.
No, it's 7 games. The rest of this month, and then that final game at the beginning of May. So here it is all of a sudden, and we're looking. I didn't think I'd be saying it, but we're looking at a healthy 19th at the moment.
I'm glad, to be quite honest, because at Christmas I had already had us relegated, to be quite honest. Well, we both did, didn't we? So we thought.
Well, we did. I mean, we said it, if we continue this way, but I mean, again, only from the brief highlights I saw, but both Albie and Jonathan mentioned it. The one touch, there was in the highlights there was one. Close call which came from a really good move, one quick move, one touch. I don't know I mean, obviously the addition of Louis is, as we've discussed, but he does seem to, again, just space seems to open up when he's got the ball, and players, I don't know, there's definitely a confidence in there, and it's appeared very quickly with his return, and it can only be good. But we need to. And we know the games we've got coming up in April, and we know that they're drastically more difficult than those we've played in the last 4 or 5. So But then saying that, no one's really. I mean, there's no. I don't think there's any such thing as an easy run in when you're down the bottom.
Not when you're at the bottom. I mean, we got to get someone on Friday.
Most of the teams you're playing are above you anyway, so
We got to get someone on Friday, even if it's just a draw. To be quite honest, because I think on Easter Monday, that's going to be a hard game. That it really is. I don't care what you say. I mean, having said that, I mean they're not unbeatable, are they? Just because they're a big team and they're in League One. They're in League One for a reason, aren't they? Because they're a bit shit, to be quite honest. So,
well, yeah, this is it. I mean, no one's unbeatable,
No.
and on any team on their day. I mean, look at Forest Green beating Sheffield Wednesday.
did you?
If there was one game in the knowledge of where Sheffield Wednesday were in relation to Forest Green, and you had £1 to your name, and someone offered you 100 to 1 on all the games being played,
that would have been the one you'd have gone for, wouldn't it?
you would have thought, yeah, well, there's. I mean, even if you were offered the draw, you'd be laughing all the way to the bank. You'd have thought, but that's football. That's
a funny
the
old
way
game,
it is.
John,
And
right enough,
that's what
like
can
to
happen.
So shall we look forward?
But
Or-
no, I can't see that happening at Derby. If I'm
No.
honest.
Do you want to look ahead
But-
then? Friday and Saturday? Sorry, Monday, Friday and Monday. I don't know what to think about Portsmouth. I genuinely think we've got a chance of beating them, to be quite honest. I don't know where they are at the minute. Where are they?
Well, we've got. It doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs.
No.
They are. Say that they're only 3 points behind Peterborough, 64 points. Bolton 64, Derby is 7th, 64, and then just above them, Wycombe on 62. Then there's a 6 point gap. So really, the top 9, or I should say the more like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Realistically, there's your last 2 in the playoffs. Barnsley are, I think, 2 way far ahead to be threatened by anybody from 5th downwards. So yeah, Bolton, Peterborough, Derby, Wycombe, Portsmouth, 2 out of those 5 for the playoffs. I think Peterborough will probably sneak in there. I don't know about Bolton though, and Derby. I mean, you would expect Derby would be in there, obviously,
so.
but then you would probably expect to see Portsmouth in there as well. But so one of them is probably going to go on a very nice run to the end of the season and get themselves firmly in the playoffs. I don't think Barnsley are in a chance of automatic. Ipswich, obviously, Sheffield Wednesday and Plymouth both on 80 points. I'd be disappointed if I was a Plymouth fan. Mind you, I mean, much like last season, it was a bit of a kick in the teeth for them getting beat by us on the last day of the season in the fashion they did.
Yeah.
I think it would be even more disappointed now, having not turned up at the Pizza Cup on Sunday and getting beaten 4-0, to then drop out of the top 2 and losing the playoffs would be an even bigger kick in the arse than they had when we beat them last season.
I genuinely didn't know that that it was that final this weekend. I'm so far not interested in that competition any longer that I didn't even realise that it was being played.
Well, you lose interest once your team gets knocked out, don't you? You're
guess.
dreaming of Wembley as you get through the games, and then when you're out, it's like, I don't care anymore. I have no idea who's in it anymore. I didn't know. I knew.
I had
knew
no
Plymouth
idea who
were in
was
it.
in it. No idea at all
But
who was in it. None.
Sorry, no, I knew. I actually thought in my head it was actually Portsmouth and Plymouth, I think it was, but don't know why I thought that, but obviously I was wrong. So, but yeah, they got an absolute kick in. Just didn't turn up at all. So, but that doesn't matter to us. All we're worried about is Friday, Monday, and then anything that comes after that.
Who have we got on Saturday after that? Is it Cheltenham? A week on Saturday. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, the
15th,
so
that
Portsmouth
would be-
Portsmouth Friday, Saturday, Monday Derby, then at home to Cheltenham on the 15th, home again the following Tuesday, Charlton,
Right, okay.
away to Fleetwood, Barnsley at home, and then it's, before you know it, the final game of the season.
Bloody hell, it's not got long to go, is it that?
No,
been a shit season, to be quite honest. Let's not beat about it.
Yeah, you see, I like to look back. When you look back across the seasons. I mean, some people have photographic memories for games, don't they?
Yeah.
And they can tell you who scored and what the game was like. But what I always find difficult is when you look back on a season, where were the points where you thought, yeah, it's going to be and then you go and lose 3 in a row. We did that endlessly, didn't we, for years, where
nothing good this season.
We would go on a run and then we'd lose 3 in a row, and any chance of promotion was gone. But I don't know. Yeah, as I said, been saying for forever, this season is, let's just get it over with. Let's stay up and come back again next season, hopefully stronger. I mean, what it has shown now, and the players have proven, is that they can actually do it. They are capable of playing football, and the sort of football we enjoy watching, which is very much how it sounded at Wycombe. I mean, the last Accrington game was awful. The last home game was awful to watch, but we won them, which is the most important thing. But it sounded like it was a little bit of a change in terms of like the confidence level, the one-touch football, looking dangerous. And I mean, aside from the marking of David Wheeler for their first goal, I haven't heard one complaint really about defensive mistakes and so on.
There's been nothing good this season, nothing at all. There's nothing you could point to and see, it's
is there? I mean, other than right here, right now, with these 3 in a row and a draw at Wycombe, you can't beat in Portsmouth, maybe? Portsmouth, I don't know. I mean, it's not much to shout about, is it? Let's be honest. When you're struggling to find.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Kieran Trippier, and I'm amazed how short he is. He's on the telly. He's really, really short, isn't he? I guess that Pope fella, the old goalkeeper's massive, isn't he? Sorry, I've been distracted there by Newcastle United.
Who are they playing?
West Ham at the London Stadium.
West Ham. Oh, right, okay.
They're playing the old
I've
Irons.
Completely lost track of the Premiership. I don't even know who's in the Premiership.
I believe it's the Irons versus the Magpies, Tony, if we were going for that kind of thing. So good for
Irons versus...
What do they call
who would win in a fight?
Yeah, who would win in a fight? Well, I reckon the Irons, they'd be tougher, wouldn't they?
A hammer or a magpie.
A hammer, to be quite honest. I don't think there's a lot of...
It would have to be animated, obviously. I mean, because otherwise it'd just sit there, and given enough time, the magpie could, I don't know, peck it apart.
You couldn't pick an iron, mate. No chance. No, you couldn't pick.
Maybe I'm overthinking that.
Couldn't do it. Anyway, I've got distracted there. They're all coming out now. The bubbles are being blown at the London Stadium, which I find quite irritating, to be quite honest. But there you go.
What, it's called the London Stadium and it's in London?
That's right. No, the fact that they got the bubbles. I don't like the West Ham bubbles thing. I think it's a bit childish, Tony.
It's traditional, isn't it?
Yeah, it's rubbish. Quite honest with you.
All them happy hammers and all that.
That's it. Right, I think... so, a quick mention for Dean Lewington's 900th start. That's quite an achievement, to be quite honest. It really is.
Oh, yeah, start as well.
Yeah, that's not like game.
Start.
That's start, isn't it? And the fact that you think what happened... Like when Nielsen was here, and the fact that he's been out for the majority of the season, 900 like actual starts, not just I don't know.
Well, not only that. I mean, I do remember Anthony Francello a while ago coming up with some stats about not just how many starts he's had, but how many 90 minutes as well. I mean, how many times have you seen him subbed? I really genuinely can't ever remember of seeing him being subbed. I can't. Yeah, didn't he? I think he came off, didn't he, in his return game a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, but
that's to be expected after injury. But from the point of view of a normal season, yeah, is a permanent fixture. Yeah, you just once in a generation, isn't it?
I mean,
really?
He's got loads of energy, Tony, because he doesn't run about, does he? He just kind of stands there, doesn't he? He's really fat and he doesn't run, does he? So
he's too fat to run, and he's too slow when he does run.
So I guess the fact that they probably tried to sub him, and by the time he walks off, the game's finished, doesn't it? He's that slow. So
let's be honest. Out of those 900 games that he's played, how many did he actually deserve to play in?
That's a good
come
point. I'd go 372, I reckon.
I'm going 11.
11? Well, that's harsh, Tony. That is.
11. Yeah, because I mean, he was fat and slow when he was 18. So
how many
you know,
games has he
have
actually
been.
played? Like in total, must be a hell of a count. How many is it?
Oh no, I mean it's. I'll see if I can find it. Shall I?
Yeah, I was hoping you were just going to know Tony because he's your mate and you would just know straight away. He's your friend.
No, it's not really. So career total league games 786, and the overall total 906.
Oh, so 906. I was expecting it to be higher than that. Oh, it's rubbish that. Quite honest with you. Oh, the crap.
No, 906. Yeah,
906.
but you think that's 786 league games and another. Actually, yeah, I thought another 120 or so cup games.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a ridiculous figure. It's an absolutely ridiculous
All
figure,
joking
however
aside.
you look at it.
And taking the mickey out of him, it's a remarkable achievement. That it really is. You know, I mean, not very many players get to that level, do they? You know, not very few. You know.
Yeah, I mean, his goal return's not impressive.
No, it's
that
not
has to be
impressive,
said.
Tony. I'll give you that. He's at 906 games. You know, how many goals?
A goal every 36 games. So basically, 9 4 is 30. Yeah, so he scores once every 10% of a season on average. And bearing in mind that for the last 4 seasons, he has not scored a single goal. And he scored one the previous season, none the season before that. Yeah, so I suppose that would up his average in those seasons. But yeah, his goal average for since 2019 has been 0. He scored an average of 0 goals per game for the last 4 years. And
consistent.
if I can recall correctly, in that time I can only remember one shot, and that was on his return game where he didn't have anybody to pass to, so decided to shoot himself, and it wasn't a bad shot, to be fair. But
good luck to him.
no, it is a frankly staggering statistic and an anomaly in that he when I asked him what do you think would have happened if Wimbledon had gone out of business, he said he would have almost certainly ended up in non-league. So strange how life works out, isn't it?
Just funny old game, football. The third time that quote's been used this podcast. Well, that's a half an hour. I'm struggling now, Tony, to be quite honest.
Should we do a couple of predictions
Yeah,
then?
go on. So, Friday.
Ooh. Portsmouth at home. Bearing in mind we do have a good record against them.
Okay, I'm going to go bold, Tony, and I'm going to say 2-1 to the Milton Keynes Dons FC.
You're going 2-1, are you?
2-1,
Let's have a quick look at that. So we said that they're in ninth with a chance of the playoffs. Last 5 games: lose, win, draw, win.
Ooh.
Which isn't bad. It isn't bad at all. In fact,
ours.
it's an identical record to ours, but not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got the last 5 games. They're the same as us in terms of form. I'll go a surprise 3-0. How about that? How'd you like that?
Oh, that's a bold prediction, that.
Yeah,
and Monday. Now. Monday.
Derby away.
I don't want to say it, so I'm going to go 1-0.
Do you want to hear their form?
Yeah,
last 5?
Go on, tell me.
Lose, win, lose.
Really? Honestly?
Yep.
Oh, I'm revising that then to 2-0 to us.
I'm going to go shock 1-0 win, free kick, off the bar. Hold on, no, I'm thinking back to the championship season. That was that was JFC, wasn't it? He scored that. Oh, I don't know. I'll go 1-0 because I think that we could have a stupendous end to the season, and we'll be sitting here in years to come thinking, oh God, we finished 14th that season. That must have been boring.
Yeah, I'm going to change. I'm going to revise mine to 1-0. Actually, 2-0's a bit. That's just being stupid, isn't it? To be quite honest, so I'll go 1-0.
Might be pushing it a bit. Yeah,
I'll go 1-0.
But by
and
the
I'm
same
going to
token,
go 1-0.
Yeah, we are one of the form teams at the moment.
I'm going to go 1-0 and I'm going to go Dean Lewington to score it. There you go. So I'm going to go.
Well, now that is, I mean, predicting a win is one thing, but
that's a bold statement.
I'll tell you what, if he does, next week I'll record the podcast naked.
Well, I'm so glad that you've not got your camera on then, Tony, to be quite honest. Right, this has been
I won't put the camera on, no.
An incredibly short one because basically neither of us went to the game. But next week's will be a whopper. Next week, Tony, we'll have 2 games to talk about. You're going to Derby now?
I'm not going, no. Fleetwood and hopefully Burton.
Right,
my last 2 for away games this season. Well, Fleetwood definitely because I've already booked a hotel.
Well, you're laughing now, aren't you? I'll make a weekend of that, Tony. Right, so this is
we might perceivably be safe by then.
Oh, that'd be good. You could relax, Tony, couldn't you? Make a weekend of it. Making a weekend of it anyway, hopefully. Making a hotel.
Stranger things have happened, mate. Stranger things have happened.
Right, so that's been quite a short one, but next week's will be longer because we'll have 2 games to talk about, and I'd like anyone that goes to Derby, it's specifically Jonathan Harries, if he can come on next week, that would be even better for us, wouldn't it, Tony? Because then we could just sit about and do nothing.
Indeed.
While he talks, we could just do nothing. So there we go. So we will be back next week, hopefully with 6 points in the bank, and that's me pressing the stop button now.